Hello, this is Paloma. I come back with the story the sky is telling for the next few days. We are at the gates of November. This is a month that to me it's a continuum of this intensity that is catalyzing change and transformation in our lives. It is a mix of, it is a month of a certain energetic complexity which requires temperance, I would say. We opened the month with this new moon in Scorpio that I spoke of last week. It is a lunation that opens up 6 months of work of alchemy with our shadow, so we can actually open ourselves to reclaiming of the genuine power and the purity of the power of our soul. This is actually the last lunation that presents Pluto in Capricorn, which is actually the ruler of the event as alongside Mars, and they are both in this very palpable tension. This is an opposition. I will speak of this in a moment. So on the 2nd of November we have Mercury entering Sagittarius. Then on the 3rd, that's the day when I'm actually recording this, that's the perfect day of the opposition Mars and Pluto. And then immediately afterwards Mars is going to enter Leo. On the 11th portal, we're going to see Venus entering Capricorn for a few days, cohabiting this school of structures with Pluto for the last time. And then we're going to have a super full moon in Taurus, conjunct Urano. That's for the 15th of the month, so we can expect movement and surprises there. And then on the 19th we're going to finally see Pluto entering Aquarius for the next 20 years, elaborating now the cleanse, the purge of the school of consciousness. And on the 21st of the month, we're going to see the Sun entering Sagittarius and opening a new season of hope, I would say. And just remember, on the 25th of the month, Mercury will start its last retrograde movement of the year precisely in Sagittarius, the sign of truth and freedom. This will end on the 15th of December. So just mentioning the alignments, the astrological alignments for the month, we will be navigating this together week by week in this beautiful weaving of community. The big context, though, I do want to mention is that we are experiencing this trine of talents between the spiritual planets, which is catalyzing this immense change in what we have experienced as reality thus yet. This is Pluto, Neptune, and Urano, and their potency, their power is really irresistible. So there is a timing, a moment for us to truly trust the intelligence that brings order into the whole of creation, to learn to soften the resistance to change and to become extremely flexible in such dynamic energy. This will be important right now and for the next few years, because there is an open invitation actually to be a part of this revolution of consciousness, of the evolution of our human beings, being intentional with our own lives, and also noticing how we influence and touch everything, because our frequency reverberates in every corner of the cosmos. Okay, so a key for this month is patience. Patience, because it looks like there's going to be circumstances that activate or trigger our sensitivities and very big reactions. So I invite us to create enough space so we can actually respond. And usually creating this space requires pausing. So let's pause a lot, frequently throughout the next few days, and that will allow us to actually reclaim agency about how we direct our energy, our will. Okay, coming into this week, so as I said, the 3rd of November, which is today that I'm recording this, we have the first of 3 oppositions between Mars and Pluto. This is the only one, though, that is happening in the axis Cancer Capricorn. The second one will be exact between the 7th and 8th of January, and the third one between the 17th and 18th of April. This is 2025. This opposition, Mars-Pluto, creates this very palpable tension. It reveals a conflict or something that had been hidden that might and will influence our personal and collective circumstances. As you can see, I invite you to notice there will be a development, because there are 3 times this is going to happen. Therefore, this is a pattern that will have an elaboration throughout time. Pluto is a higher octave of Mars, so they have an affinity, even though they are looking at each other face to face. They are very powerful when they interact. So let's consider Mars is going to have a retrograde. He's going to retrograde starting early December. So in the depth of this, there is a questioning and inquiring deeply what is the motivation, what is the underlying energy that propels us into movement or action in our lives. Is there will or is there a conditioned reactivity? This is what we're going to look deeply into. The prayer, the evolutionary intent that I find in this supposition is for us to learn to manage our energy and our emotions with agency, sovereignty, and intentionality. This transit is truly a purification of our masculine energy and also of our soul. This will allow actually a very transcendental liberation of our experience and expressions into the most vibrant way of showing up in our frequency and therefore in our power. What is the good power that is serving a higher cause? That's what we are to find out. That's the inquiry. In order to discover this, though, we're going to be triggered, as I said. It looks like this opposition will present a circumstance that will potentially awaken a very eruptive, maybe even violent reaction. And that is precisely the opening where we are meant to rise above this fear or even this pain into a recovering our consciousness and therefore our will. This does not mean in any way to repress what we are feeling, but it is about cultivating a maturity in knowing how to contain our own emotionality without repressing it. It is a delicate opposition, nevertheless, because from Cancer, we tend to be very sensitive to whatever is perceived as a threat in terms of our security or what feels familiar or known. And Pluto is a place where we tend to present resistance to change or to entering the unknown realms. See what I mean? And then when Mars enters Leo, it can express this very strong pride, even pride in a exaggerated way when perceiving this threat from the outside. Or another path would be, it can be the most beautiful invitation to connect with the nobility of the heart. It is truly our choice. What are we going to express from this, which is simply energy? It is big energy, intense energy, yet we can always channel it. That is the beauty of astrology. We can channel and co-create with this energy, and it's just a lot of energy and intense energy. So what do you need in order to make it move through your body and through your life without it becoming this eruptive, potentially violent force? Because it looks almost like we will be tempted, no? Like a temptation moment to lean into the fear and the pain and the reactivity, or to choose to rise above this and to find the beauty in the evolutionary intent of this energy, because it's like a test, you know, and the test, whatever shows up as a test, is truly an opportunity. It is the opening, inviting us to know more of who we are, to know more of our power, to know more of our inner resources, and to know more of the deep desire, longing of our soul to serve divinity. On the other side of this energy, I see us becoming incredibly strong, spiritually strong, cultivating immense resilience, and this will require patience, because there is a development, because it is so triggering, and therefore I believe we are going to need generous compassion towards ourselves and also towards everyone else around us, because we are all in this place of heightened sensitivity. So this is happening. I mean, this is very much alive throughout the week. As I said before, I think we've been already feeling this energy ever since the full moon in October, but this is like the peak, the climatic peak of it, and we will have another couple moments of the peak of this intensity, as I mentioned. Also, I want to say Mercury entered Sagittarius, as I said, so this brings a widening of our perspective. It allows us to be more optimistic and to even enter the realm of faith. No, and also Venus is helping us out with that throughout the week. So there's that. Now there's always assistance through beautiful dialogues in the sky that can help us navigate what seems to be intense and challenging. Venus, as I was mentioning, she's being activated by an opposition to Jupiter, which actually to me seems like an energy that helps us nurture trust, also just beauty. And walking into towards the next weekend, we're gonna have the crescent moon in Aquarius, and there we're gonna see Venus in a square to Neptune. In a different sky, I would say, well, I will say it, just be cautious about an excess of fantasy or even being too naive in terms of love, finances, resources because of this. But in the context of this sky that is already triggering us, I believe Venus speaking with Neptune, even though there is a tension, it's also a remembering of our connection to a higher love. It reminds us of source, of the human expression of love as well. So there is a tension between our aspirations or idealism in terms of love or even money and reality, no? Which can show us a place where we were dwelling in illusion, yes, but also see, Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, no? So I read it like there is an opening here to the memory of origin, where we actually remember the experience of oneness and love, and remember we are channels of this one love. In fact, it's quite interesting how these personal planets have been speaking with their higher octaves in the last few weeks. Now we had Mercury, Urano, we have Venus, Neptune, we have Mars, Pluto. So it's like an invitation to open ourselves up into new dimensions of our beings, like it's truly entering this multidimensionality through the exercise of deep responsibility of our energy. Take care of your heart. Take care of your energy. It does feel like a time of sobriety in a way, which doesn't mean a lack of joy, but it means a deep sense of responsibility for what we are co-creating and for taking care of ourselves. Okay, family, well, walking towards that first square in Aquarius next week, next weekend, actually it's on Saturday, there is this calling us to respond for this prayer of the future in the present tense. It's only 2 more weeks for Pluto to enter Aquarius. We are truly the bridge between times. That's what I have for this week, my beautiful family. I wish for you a week with plenty of pauses. And that when you pause, you can feel the connection to yourself, feel the connection to Mother Earth, feel the connection to life and to your own inner wisdom, so you can choose to respond. Infinite blessings.